Hey everyone, I just wanted to start this video off by apologizing for no upload for UFC 286. I had that video made and I was super excited to get it uploaded, but I was heading out of town for the weekend and the file ended up getting corrupted. So yeah, sorry for that. Anyways, that was a crazy event, and it ended with Leon showing everyone that he was the best welterweight in the world. But that has passed, so now it's time to talk about this weekend's event, and we're in for an unreal main event. Chito Vera is taking on Cory Sandhagen for the opportunity to catapult himself into a championship fight. A win for Cory here, and that would push him closer to a shot at the belt as well.
Cory's last time out was a win over up-and-comer Sandhagen, where he was able to secure the finish after a doctor's stoppage from a horrible cut from Cory's elbow. Cory looked good in that fight and displayed his unique striking. Chito's last time out was a vicious KO over Dominic Cruz that shook up San Diego. Chito wasn't necessarily losing that fight up to the KO, but it was close. So how do I see this fight playing out? Well, it's one of the toughest fights to predict because these are two of the most unpredictable guys in the UFC. A lot of Chito's fights look like he's losing the fight until he's not. Prior to the Cruz fight, he fought Rob Font and completely rearranged his face. And before that, he secured that brutal front kick KO against Frankie Edgar. However, in both those fights, it looked like he was losing at some point or another. I think it really just comes down to Chito being a slow starter. He takes his time to try and figure out his opponent's movements and what they like to throw. Once it gets to the later rounds though, he looks a lot more dominant. He also just looks so calm when he's in there. And that's where I feel he might have the slight edge over Cory. Cory isn't necessarily sloppy, but he is aggressive and unorthodox. He mixes his punches with elbow strikes and will also have the reach advantage. His ground game is underrated as well. He's going to look to find openings after throwing punches and try and finish his combos off with elbows. During his last fight against Song, I thought he started off losing. Song was better in the opening exchanges, however, once he got that cut, it changed the course of the fight. Song started slowing down a bit because of the cut. He couldn't see out of that eye. It's also worth mentioning that Cory has only lost to former champions, or the current champion. So he's a top contender and will definitely be Chito's biggest test to date. I see this fight playing out with Cory looking the better out of the two in the first two rounds. We'll see a lot more engagement from Cory and him pressuring Chito onto his back foot. Probably looking for a lot of shots to land at the head, followed by some slicing elbows. Chito will be bouncing around the octagon, picking his shots while he can, as Cory continues to rain on the pressure. He'll survive through it though. I think Cory is going to cut Chito up a bit, but once it hits the third round, Chito will finally begin to figure out what Cory is trying to do. He'll be able to pick his shots more and be more successful in his counterpunching. They'll also have more stamina as they head into the later rounds, from Cory exerting so much pressure in the beginning of the fight. From there, I see him looking for the finish on Cory, but due to Cory still being crafty and elusive, I don't think he'll be able to get it. At that point though, I think he would have done enough in the later rounds to secure himself a close decision win. If Cory can cut Chito early, or really pressure him in the opening rounds, I think he has a better chance to win this fight. He might be able to slow him down or catch him off guard. However, as the fight progresses, I see Cory's chances to win less and less, as Chito only gets better and better as the fight goes on. However, it's going to be an action-packed 25 minutes for anyone watching, either way. There's also a few other interesting fights on the card that I wanted to point out. Holly Holm is taking the co-main event spotlight against former training partner Yana Santos. There's also a battle between two ranked flyweights in Alex Perez and Manel Cape. Finally, Chidi and Njokuani is taking on Albert Duriev. It's going to be a really good night in San Antonio. So there you have it. That's how I see UFC San Antonio playing out. This fight will have huge implications on the way the bantamweight division ends up. A win here for either man could mean a chance at a number one contender fight. I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be posting other content rather than just weekly prediction videos. I want to do weekly videos based on the news going on in the sport and also rumors that I've been hearing. Potentially also some videos on me playing UFC Matchmaker and trying to figure out what the best fights to make are. So, you guys will be seeing a lot more content from me. Once again, I wanted to thank you guys for watching this video, and if you're new, consider subscribing for more MMA content. See you in the next one.